For millennia, Native Americans have preserved oral traditions which speak of a time very long ago when their ancestors came into conflict with giants that roamed the region and interfered with several tribes across the continent. A great many of these stories involve a race of white giants that were eventually wiped out. With few exceptions, the giants of the Native Americans were malevolent beings that wreaked havoc in the lands and had a specific taste for human flesh. The tradition of the Choctaws told of a race of giants that once inhabited the now state of Tennessee, and with whom their ancestors fought when they arrived in Mississippi in their migration from the west. Their tradition states the Nawulo, which was a race of giants, were of wonderful stature. They were said to be cannibals whom the Choctaw killed whenever the opportunity arose. Chief Rolling Thunder of the Comanches, a tribe from the Great Plains, gave the following account of an ancient race of white giants in 1857, quote, "Innumerable moons ago, a race of white men, 10 feet high, and far more rich and powerful than any white people now living, here inhabited a large range of country extending from the rising to the setting sun. Their fortifications crowned the summits of the mountains, protecting their populous cities situated in the intervening valleys. They excelled every other nation which was flourished either before or since, in a manner of cunning handicraft, were brave and warlike, ruling over the land they had wrested from its ancient possessors with a high and haughty hand. Compared with them, the palefaces of the present day were pygmies in both art and arms." The chief explained that when this race forgot justice and mercy and became too proud, the Great Spirit wiped it out, and all that was left of their society were the mounds still visible on the tablelands. Navajo legend describes the Starnate people as, quote, "a regal race of white giants endowed with mining technology who dominated the West, enslaved lesser tribes, and had strongholds all through the Americas. They were either extinguished or went back to the heavens," end quote. The Sioux say that the earth was originally peopled by giants who were 3 times the size of modern man. They too say that the giants denied belief in a creator, and they too say that the giants were wiped out by a great flood. The Hopi tell of giants in the days before the great flood. These stories read nearly identical to the Bible if one allows for local flavor. According to the Hopi, there were giants on the earth in those days, and they were cannibalistic. Many of them had bred with the humans as well as infecting them with their DNA. These offspring were warlike and caused much destruction in the world. A Kachina, Masao, came down from the stars, and after entrusting the uncorrupted of the Hopi to the ant people underground, he proceeded to flood the earth and rid it of these giants and monsters. The Hopi later emerged from a cave somewhere in either the Grand Canyon or some say Montezuma's Well, and began life anew here in the Fourth World. Though some tales describe the Chino as a Bigfoot-like creature, the original legend from the Wabanaki people tells that he was once a human, but at some point committed a horrible crime for which the gods cursed him and turned his heart to ice. His frozen spirit was then trapped within the body of a lumbering troll-like monster who devours any human he can get his hands on. The Native American legends of giants are numerable. In order for us to move on to the topic of archaeological findings, here is a quick list of individual tribes and the names of their giants.